Hello, welcome to freedomalcohol.com. This is Sam French. I hope this finds you well. You join me here, week 27 on the life videos, and today I want to talk about the impact of external influences on you. And the reason that I say this is because it's a really important thing to recognize in how those things around you can have an emotional impact on you, from people that you talk to in the street, to friends and family, to that email you received, or something on a text message or something similar like that. It's something which has come to you without you really wanting it, and it's had an impact on you emotionally and in terms of your mindset. Now, the reason I want to talk about this is because I find that I am particularly susceptible to this. So, for example, this morning I had just been reading a list of emails, and these emails, they are work related, and I won't go into the specifics about them, but they have already had an impact today on how I feel. Now, predominantly, if I'm honest, those feelings are quite negative. Those feelings are, they're not good. They are one of frustration and anger, and want to avoid dealing with the content which is in these emails. And the reason why is because I feel that the content of these particular emails always seems to have a negative undertone. It's constantly filled with negativity and things that haven't happened, or things that haven't been done, or things that aren't quite where they should be, or things that it's that feeling, that look and feel about them, which I always actually never look forward to. And you may find this in other things in your life. So perhaps you've had a conversation with somebody that's, again, something that you weren't expecting, or something that they've said to you that again has had that impact on you, that conjures up those feelings of flatness and negativity around you. And there are so many external influences on us, but generally when they have an emotional impact, they obviously involve people and other people. Now, why do I talk about this? Why do I raise this? Because it is such an important thing to recognise and realise and do something with. I find it really hard personally, because it takes energy and emotional effort to turn this mindset around. When somebody has an impact on you that you feel that you cannot change or do anything with, it has an emotional impact on you. And for me, my whole being, my whole mindset, my whole aura, my whole existence at that point gets sucked into that, and everything else goes out of the window. And perhaps it's just a character trait of mine, but I know that you also will be impacted as well. And that makes it all the more important that I deal with it. So what can you do about these things that come in to you and have an impact on you? Well, number one, I think the worst thing that you can do is to do absolutely nothing, because actually what that does is it just then sits with you in the background. It'll sit in your mind as something that you've done nothing with, and it's just there, and it just has negative undertones. Number two, and I think this is really important, try and see the fact in the emotion from that external influence. Is there any fact in there? Is there anything that you can actually then go and deal with factually and move forward with? Because you see, and I've talked about emotions before, when you get wrapped up in the emotions of it, it's often then really tricky to see your way through. But if you deal with the facts, then it's something that you can move forward with. So if somebody said something particularly negative towards you, for instance, in a conversation, I think it's really important to understand the context of that and what you can do with it. So, for example, when somebody says to you, "Oh, you were really nasty to me, I thought you were absolutely horrible," and blah de blah de blah de blah. Step back, look at the situation, and decide actually what was going on here and find out what was it that was going on in that situation. What actually happened? What did you observe of the other person? What did you observe of yourself? And then feed that back and then work with that rather than the emotional perception that comes up in these conversations. And number 3, consciously act on these things. If you can't deal with them immediately, plan them in so that you know when you're going to get closure on this external factor that's impacted on you. So today for me, the way that I'm going to deal with this from this morning's example is I will go into work, I will work through these particular external influences, these emails, and I will write down against each and every one of them what I am going to do. And I will take that information and I will respond if I need to and act if I need to. And I will put a timeline on it and I will put a closure on it. And then I will walk away from it. Because actually it is so important that you get closure on these things, because as I said, if you sit on them, then they will impact on all the other positive things that you're doing. And I suppose the final thing in all of this is just keep context. What is important here? For me, it's important that I continue with my goal of improving the quality of my life, my work-life balance at home and at work. For me, it is important that I continue to progress in my freedom from alcohol, that I continue to keep those stress levels down, that I continue to focus on the important things in this life, which for me at this precise moment is my family, is my happiness, and is serving others ultimately in what I do. And in order to keep focused on this, I need to remain positive. And therefore, to do this, I must keep that positive mindset. Mindsets have such an impact on how I look out on the world, and I know when my mindset is changing towards negativity that I need to take stock as I am now, just reflect and then look at what I can do to progress this moving forward. So I hope this has served you in some way. I know it might seem a little bit complex, but just as a summary, and if you've got any questions, obviously I'm at Freedom Alcohol on Twitter, and you can get me at freedomalcohol@gmail.com. Just to summarise, so number 1, please don't do nothing with it. Number 2, sort the facts from the emotion. Number 3, act upon it. And number 4, really important, get closure on it and move forward. And remember what is important here overall. Keep it in context. Have a good day. Thank you for listening to freedomalcohol.com, and you've been listening to Sam French.